You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
With paranormal news, views and reviews from across the USA, you're listening to Paranormal Hindsight with Jay and Teresa here on Parasearch UK Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another week of Paranormal Hindsight. I'm your host, Jay Lynch, with our co-host,
Teresa.
She is there. Dang. I thought maybe she disappeared on me.
No.
That would be something paranormal.
Yes, it would.
We got an absolutely wonderful guest with us this week. It's our really good friend, Mr. Rick Rose. How are you today, sir?
What is up?
You, man. How's things going your way?
I'm doing good. I'm also trying something new tonight. There's this new app out there that I just found that's called live.me. We are currently live on that.
Oh, wow. That ought to be scary for everybody.
So they're seeing me right now, but I'm sure they can hear you.
Oh, if they can, they're in trouble.
Yeah, so it's been going good. I'm getting ready to move and doing all that packing stuff, and
You're not packed yet?
I'm almost there, as you can tell.
So now, here we go. This is more about the paranormal, so let's get into this right here. How long, sir, have you actually been involved paranormal investigating?
Oh, man. My first experiences into the paranormal was when I was a younger kid. I actually was staying over at my buddy's house, and it was on the War of 1812 area in Port Clinton, Ohio. And I woke up, and his what they called his guardian spirit, they called him Colonel, was standing at the foot of the bed, staring at me. And I freaked out. I did. But
I can imagine why.
I started kicking and screaming, and my buddy Josh come flying around the corner, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" And I was like, there was something standing at the foot of my bed, a guy in military full getup. He had a beard, everything. And he was like, "Oh, that's just Colonel, blah, blah, blah." So, and then I started noticing stuff in the house that we grew up in, just more of residual type hauntings, smelling cigar smoke, hearing poker chips hitting the tables, that kind of deal. So that kind of got me interested. And then my friend Jessica, I was like 14 or 15 at the time, she decided she wanted to hold a seance at her house, in her tree house. And you know how I am. I was just like that when I was 15 years old. I started calling out the dark forces and all that stuff. We got a little bit more than we could bargain for, and that kind of spiked my interest into the paranormal. And I did things here and there. Then I joined the military, did that 9-year stint. When I got out, I launched my own team in Kansas City called Paranormal Warnings, and it's just been running wild ever since.
Well, let me ask you this. You mentioned the military. Did you do anything paranormal-wise while you were in the military? Or did you see anything?
When I was in Iraq, we were staying at a Bath West party house on Fodder Union 3, and we did have some crazy stuff happening. I did have a brick fly across the room, like out of nowhere, as I was walking down the hallway, so that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
But that was about all I experienced. I mean, I was an intelligence officer, and in Afghanistan, I did see reports of black-eyed kids. But
really?
Yeah, it was weird. Every time like a big event was going to happen on post, there was reports of them seeing black-eyed kids standing at the post and just staring at them before the big attacks happened. So it was like an omen or something of what was to come.
So somebody starts reporting black-eyed kids. You all got on the bandwagon and started getting your stuff high and tight.
Yeah.
I'd say so. I would.
So that was all I really experienced, and it wasn't much that even that's all I can remember is just the Iraq incident, and I'm pretty sure there was other stuff that happened because the building I slept in Iraq was bombed out like from the middle, and we slept on the outer rim, and they said there was like 400 to 500 people killed from that bombing.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure, but there was other stuff going on, but I was more
focused on keeping your butt safe,
running from rockets and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a ghost. Well, let's see. Do I want to worry about the ghost or worry about the rocket?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. It is.
Now, but you said when you got out, you ended up in Kansas City. You started your own team, Paranormal Warnings and stuff, and you still have a YouTube page up on it. And I know there's still Facebook pages to find you on. There's Rick Rose, Paranormal Investigator and stuff. And so you're out there putting this stuff out there, and you're also a member of what we're doing, Paranormal Mysteries. You're the cinematographer and director, whatever other title and hat you decide to wear.
I got my hands in a lot of different pots.
Yes, you do. You always, since I've met you, you always have. And for those that don't know, we've only met about a year ago now, so I don't know how we.
Not even a year.
I know, not yet, not quite.
Next month Next month will be your anniversary.
Stop.
I expect flowers.
I'm blushing.
Don't hold your breath, Rick.
But while you was out in Kansas City, I know you got involved with a couple different locations here. I know you've talked about the Malvern Manor and also the Sally House. You kind of want to elaborate on one of those at a time and pick which one you want to start with.
Well, I started with Sally House, so I think that'd be the best way to do it. But I will give forewarnings that I do have very opinionated ideas and a lot of controversy.
Okay. You? Opinionated? Controversial?
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that.
I've started a lot of controversy with my ideas and some of the stuff. So
no, I've never experienced that with being around you.
No, not me.
So then let's start out with the Sally House.
So this is how it all... I'm going to give you guys a little backstory. All right? When we launched Paranormal Warnings, one of our first big investigations into a famous location was Villisca Axe Murder House. So that's up in Iowa. We went up there. We did a full night's investigation. All the footage is on my YouTube. The kid ended up getting scratched all to heck. We had stuff thrown at us. We caught a photo of the little boy. The entity was calling us out and all this stuff. But as we're finishing that up and we're driving home, Cher, which was my sensitive, psychic type deal, more sensitive empath
type deal.
Yeah, because I didn't believe it. I didn't believe most of it. But she was telling me that for some reason she kept seeing 3. And she's like, I don't know what this is. I keep seeing that we're tied to 3 places, or you're tied to 3 places. She goes, and if you look at them, they're almost going to be like in a triangle somewhat. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, we ended up scheduling Sally House like a year or 2 later. And come to find out, Sally House and Villisca Axe Murder House have the same physical address.
They're same both, physical address?
Yeah, they're both the same address.
You get the same number on the same street, but in different cities.
Yeah, one's in Villisca, one's in Atchison, Kansas.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that kind of boggled we're like, what the heck's going on here? Both these are supposed to be demonic hauntings. They both have the same address. I mean, it was just some weird theories. So we did the Sally House, and that's when I was invited on to become a tour guide from Denise Pridmore. And then Angie. Angie was the Chamber of Commerce lady that wanted me to have part of it. But after even Sally House, Cher kept telling me, I see one more place. It's a 3. 333. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, all right, She goes, and she come to me a couple months later, and she's like, I am seeing train tracks, and I'm hearing an owl. She goes, it's weird. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we continue doing our thing. And one night I receive a phone call from Josh Hurd, and he says, dude, you're never going to believe it. So what? He goes, we just found a haunted place. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, it's up here in Malvern, Iowa. And I'm like, oh, sweet. He goes, yeah, you got to come out here and check this out with me. So I was one of the first people to enter this building, besides Steve Hayes. Steve Hayes was before me. I told Steve Hayes about it. I kind of set that golden nugget in his lap. So I go up to the Malvern Manor. It's on 3rd Street. Okay? And I'm like, oh, these freaking threes. Okay. So we're doing our thing. I go outside. I'm talking to Josh and his brother. And all of a sudden, I hear the train. Choo-choo! Coming across the track. And I'm like, what the heck?
Sound effects
by
Rick.
How far away? Yeah. So I'm like, how far away is the train tracks? They're like, they're just right over there. I'm like, okay, whatever. We did our thing. We're standing out there talking later that night. I'm talking to Josh and James again. And guess what?
The owl.
Out of the tree. Hoo, hoo, hoo. And I went, screw it. I'm done.
I gotta say,
if you look at it, it's Villisca ex-murder house, Malvern Manor are 30 miles apart. And you can almost draw the triangle tip down to Atchison, Kansas.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
And as most of you guys know that follow me, I basically lived inside Malvern Manor. So, yeah. So that's the weird stuff that happens in my life.
So did you have any experiences when you were in Malvern?
Oh, God. Where do we start? You got 3 hours?
we could actually do a show just tonight on Malvern Manor. We can do another show, record another time for a part 2 to do the Sally House if you choose.
Yeah. Sally House was, you know what? Sally House I liked, but I would say out of a month's time, you would probably catch activity 3 or 4 times out of that month. Now here comes the controversial part.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. But I think the Pickmans basically took some of their stories and put a little fluff to them. And that's how they kind of got their famous, was that little fluff. Because they were like, it was so crazy. But I don't see what they're saying happening. I mean, just stuff randomly catching on fire, leaving roses upstairs in a bedroom and coming upstairs and they're burnt. I don't know. The year I spent in there, I never experienced one thing even remotely
Did you
close.
see burnt roses?
Yeah, burnt roses.
Who burnt them?
They were saying the evil entity.
Oh.
Now that was in a Sally House, right?
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of stuff that happens around that house. I mean, some freaky stuff. I mean, we did have some activity the one night, but we were actually here. It's going to be like 3 years to the day here in a couple days when I was in Sally House. It's going to be. We were in there on Good Friday, 2015, so 2 years ago.
Damn.
Wow.
So it's almost my anniversary before all that crap started too.
It is.
But
this is kind of weird to hear people say that things just randomly catching on fire.
Yeah, I'm still trying to soak that one in a little bit.
Burning flowers.
Yeah, and I did experience something. I think there's a malevolent spirit inside that house, but he feeds off your fear. So people go in there that are already scared because it's a demonic haunting. He's going to play it up.
Well, see, I firmly believe in that. I think that sometimes a lot of this stuff isn't exactly what all the benevolence that they say it is. I think that your mind controls a lot of your actions and stuff, and the more they believe it, the more it seems to manifest because their mind's creating it because they're reading into it that it's something more than what it is. I mean, that's just my opinion, and that's going to get me in a bunch of trouble with people too. And you know what? I don't care.
Mm-hmm. It's like anywhere you go. I mean, when you start getting scared, how much of it is manifested in your mind?
Exactly. Your fears tend to take big control of you and stuff, and especially, I mean, it's like we were talking the other day with somebody that, I've seen people with their fears of, say, a snake. They see a stick on the ground, they immediately jump and start to run stuff, thinking it's a snake until they realize it's a stick. So, your mind created that into a snake. It was always a stick. So, I firmly believe that happens a lot with some of these places that supposedly have all this malevolence or evil, and I think it's more of everybody's hyped up in their imagination more so than what it is actually what's going on in the facility.
I can tell you one thing. Whatever's downstairs in that basement, he does not like to taste the Vatican holy water.
How did you get Vatican holy water?
Yeah. Right before we went to Sally's house, one of Cher's best friends was over there. And she got some of the holy water from there.
Wow.
And she brought it back with her. So she handed it off to us. He wanted to act like he was all big and bad, so I wanted to see how big and bad he was. And I said some choice words to him, and I started throwing that holy water inside that hole. He shut right up.
And that was at the Sally house?
Yeah. There's a big hole in the basement where they say the portal to hell exists.
Now you really got me interested wanting to go out there and investigate, because they claim it to be a portal to hell. I'm in.
Yeah, that's what they claim it to be.
I just want to see the evidence that substantiates that to be a portal to hell. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not trying to bash on anybody.
There is no evidence.
But how did they come up with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's
because there was a medium in there one time that said it went to hell.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that's how Sally. There was a medium in there, and he said, or she said, or I think it was a he. He goes, "I see a little girl spirit. Her name's Sally," and they're like, "Oh, Sally house."
So there's no confirmation of anyone being named Sally, first name or last name, associated with the property.
Nope, there was no appendix surgery. I wasn't even going to try to say a long word.
Appendectomy?
Whatever it is. There was no failed surgery in that basement that killed a little girl. That's all a myth. Now, there are other stories that aren't documented. And this is one of the ones that I heard quite frequently that nobody else really wanted to talk about because it's hush-hush. Plus, it's not really validated, so this is just an opinion.
Well, that's all the other stories aren't validated either. So
right.
Yeah. I heard Dr. Finney performed abortions down there in that basement and threw the fetuses into that hole, or where that wall is now, where the hole in the wall is.
Wow.
And that is what supposedly opened up the portal. Now, that's not validated in any way. It's just a story.
It makes for an awesome urban legend story to be associated with a haunted property.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one hell of a story.
Well, I mean, it's like anything. If you don't catch it, I always say record your stuff. Record. Because if something happens, all you have is a ghost story. And it's just like fishing stories. The fish is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every time you say it.
And it always gets away.
Yeah.
Hey, man. That's the biggest thing to get a fish to grow is to catch and release. Because you may have caught a 3-inch one, but by the time you get to tell your friends, it's 3 feet.
Exactly.
Right.
Catch and release grows most fish.
Yeah.
So with the Sally house, it sounds like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely interested in going there to check some of these theories out and stuff and to see what kind of collaboration you can find on any of these stories. But I still do enjoy the urban legends and stuff. I really do. That they're a part of its history.
Yeah. It is, and it's a lot of people. It's just like in any city. Every city's got their crybaby bridge and their headless horseman and all this crazy stuff. And I think that's just how most of the stories got started with that one.
I don't think there's not a county in this country. And for every county in every state has a crybaby bridge or a lady in white or a lady in blue.
Yep.
Why is it always white and blue, and why is it always a bridge?
I wonder if it's white because that's the color that you can see easier. If it was a lady in black, you wouldn't be able to see her as well in the dark.
How come? And this is one of the questions that I've always had. How come when people see full body apparitions, they're always in like dresses and 1800 gowns and all this stuff? How come it's not a kid in Jinko jeans going, "It's Britney, bitch"? I mean, how long until we start seeing these kids in Jinko jeans and we get LOL on the Ouija board?
Right.
We should be getting it now because people are dying all the time of every age.
Yeah. But I've always wondered that, and excuse my language, it was a funny joke.
Yes, it was, and you played it well.
So. But yeah, so that kind of, I spent a year inside Sally House, and the bad thing is I spent more times apologizing to some of the guests for nothing happening, because they would it was spreading like wildfire. I was doing a lot of tours. I wasn't, and I'm going to put this out there, I wasn't making a dime, because somebody else was probably like, he's just there for the fame. I've heard that a lot. Who cares? But they didn't make a dime. They offered me like $25 a tour, and I turned around and donated it right back to the Chamber of Commerce. I was like, I don't need your money. I'm here because I love this field. But I have been hit up with, you were just there for the fame. But anyways.
You're so famous.
Yeah. But, yeah. And then that kind of led me up into Malvern Manor, and me basically having a few nights to where I was shaking so bad I didn't want to move.
Wow.
Now, I'm telling you, folks, he's one hell of an investigator. He really is. He's thorough. He's got a good level head on him. But I'm telling you right now, I've seen him run a couple times, but I'll give him credit. He will go back and face it.
Yeah, it's something that catches me off guard. I will. It's the fight or flight. I can't control it.
He may drop and run now, but he'll be back in a minute. Give him a couple minutes to get his head about him, and he'll be right back at
himself.
I might be scared, but I'll come back.
Exactly, and I give you full credit for that, because a lot of people, once they get scared out, they don't go back, and you will go back into the situation. You will take care of it.
Well, here's one instance where, you know how you have fight or flight, and then you have the oh crap moment?
Or the OP?
Yeah. So one night I'm sitting inside Malvern Manor. Malvern Manor used to be like a funeral home, a nursing home, a housing place for the developmentally challenged. It was anything and everything. It was a cottage.
Perfect place for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. It still has a full nurse's wing in it. There's like 27 rooms, 18 bathrooms, 10,000 square feet. This place is huge.
Sounds it.
So I'm sitting downstairs in the main office that we had at the time. When we first opened it up, there was this huge open room that we threw a desk in there with an iMac, with our Wi-Fi, and that's where we'd all hang out and drink and just shenanigans. And the one night I was there, Connor Hopkins had left. Connor Hopkins lived there for like 3 or 4 months. And I was just sitting there by myself, and I was thinking, I'm just going to check this out. And it's about midnight. And I'm on the iMac, I'm searching songs. Song ends. I'm looking for another one. And then all of a sudden I hear talking outside the door. And I'm like, what the heck was that? So at first I thought Connor would come back for something. So I was like, Connor. And I peeked my head out the door. Nobody there. Connor's gone. I'm the only one inside this building. So I go back, I sit down, I play another song. That song ends, and I hear more talking. And I'm like, well, what the heck is going on? So I'm like, I'm hearing stuff. I'm just going crazy. I'm inside this building by myself. And then out of nowhere, I hear the doorknob turn to the door. The door opens. The door closes. And then I hear footsteps walking up towards me. And then out of nowhere, are you okay? I'm sitting there by myself, and I tell you what, if I almost pooped myself.
I can't imagine. No,
I heard this
I'm
thing,
not
open
okay.
the door, close the door, walk up to me, and then ask me if I'm okay. I didn't know what to do. I froze. It was so bad that I had to jump on Skype and call somebody hoping they were awake. And when she answered, I'm sitting here like, I'm white as a ghost, and I'm like doing one of these where I'm like looking all over the place because I'm hearing stuff. And she's like, what the heck's up? So I told her that story. And she's like, oh, I got to get there. I was like, screw this. I'm here by myself. This is how horror movies are made. But it was just weird to have that door open, close, and then hear him walk up to me and ask me if I was okay.
That's odd. That's something that I still haven't had the experience to have, is that big moment like that. I've had some pretty cool things happen to me, don't get me wrong. having my head touched at Ashmore and stuff like that. And be honest, since I started working with the energy work and being around you, it seems like I've been more approached by more things and had more interactions than I ever have in the other 6 years I've done this.
He's blaming me, folks. You see how that goes.
No, I said with the energy work, and that's Callie's fault.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's the right people. When you get around the right type of people, it's like when me and Dave Glidden get around. Me and Dave Glidden, both times we investigated together, been off the charts. I don't know what it is. We get together, somebody's pooping themselves or peeing themselves.
Sounds like you and Teresa.
It does. It gets pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, that sounds like you and Teresa.
Hey.
What?
Well, we had one night. I was up there again, and I was on a Skype call with like 3 other friends. The 2 of them were drunk. They were just out of it, and they had to go get something to eat because they were like hungry. It's like 1:00 in the morning. This chick stayed on. Her name's Susan Camosa. She's from Chicago. She still talks about this to the day. She's like, where are you at again? And I was like, I'm up here at Malvern Manor. It's a 10,000 square foot haunted, crazy nut house. And she was like, you mean like real haunted or fake haunted? And I said, no, it's legit fake. I mean, real haunted. But she's like, I don't believe in that crap, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm not here to prove anything to you. We're on a Skype call. We're just BSing. She goes, can you show me around? And I said, sure. I'll take you to the half of the house that has Wi-Fi. I said, because the other half, somehow, the Wi-Fi, it's weird. You would get up to the edge of the stairs, and if you turned right, you stayed in Wi-Fi. If you went to the left down the brush with evil hallway, we called it, there was no Wi-Fi whatsoever. You would lose all cell phone connection. You will lose all Wi-Fi at the time. It was just weird. It was only half of the house had it. So I took her to the half of the house that had it, walked around, I showed her the blood on the hallway wall and all this stuff. And she's like, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I get all the way back downstairs. I don't know if you've seen the Paranormal Lockdown episode.
No.
So Malvern Manor was on Paranormal Lockdown. There was a part where Christina, I think her name is.
Teresa?
Yeah.
Weidman? Is that her name?
Christina Weidman.
Yeah, she walks into that main door and she immediately stops. It says she feels like she's being looked at. She doesn't like the feeling of this room, blah, 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 blah. Well, I was in that room when I stopped, and I'm holding the Skype up in the air so I can talk to her and all this stuff, and the shelf's behind me. And I'm BSing with her, and out of nowhere, I see Susan's eyes get about as big as softballs. And I'm like, what's up? And she starts screaming, Rick, behind you. And that's when I turned around. There was a pry bar levitating in midair, slams down on top of the shelf. The Ouija board that was on top of the shelf went flying across the room, like right past my head.
Wow.
So what she was seeing was, she's seen this pry bar from the shelf come up in the midair right above my head. And then that's when she started screaming. And when I turned around, it slammed down. And she was like, okay, I'm done. I'm leaving.
No kidding.
Wow.
So every time I talk to her now, she brings up that Skype call.
Wow.
And she's like, I didn't believe in that crap until I seen that.
Now, see, that's something I have not seen yet. And I can't wait for that experience because I think it's going to change my concept of my investigation completely.
Yeah, it kind of startled me. We've had all kinds of stuff happening. I mean, this house, there was a couple documented deaths. I think like 100.
Just a couple.
Yeah, but no, there's like 100 plus. One of the biggest ones, and I think this was kind of, I don't know if it was debunked or not, but there was stories that a little girl did commit suicide in there. But now we're hearing that it possibly might have happened at the house next door. But a little girl was outside. I don't know when it was, but she told her brother she felt like going inside. She went inside. 10, 15 minutes later, her brother walked in, went up to her bedroom, and she was found hanging in the closet by her jump rope.
By her jump rope?
by her jump rope, and she was only like 9 or 10 years old.
Wow.
Now, why would a 9 or 10-year-old do that?
Exactly. And that's when I had caught a little girl on my Periscope. She actually showed herself to everybody. We didn't even know she existed at that time. I was just doing a walkthrough Periscope, just showing people the place. And if you look, I got the screenshot. If you look on the TV, you can see the silhouette of a little girl standing there inside the room.
Oh, cool.
And there was nothing inside that room. That every time I go to Malvern, I go up to that bedroom and I try to recreate that photo. I'm still trying to debunk it, and it's been like 2-3 years later.
But at least you're still working at it. I mean, you're not just letting it go and say, oh, yep, this is it.
Right.
Yeah.
I got this fun shot. Nobody else got it.
It is. It's pretty neat. And nobody knew that she even existed in there, and now she comes out and she plays with people. She'll talk to you. So I was like, I kind of feel honored that I was the first one that she wanted to speak to. Because usually kids hate me. Like spirit kids, they hate me.
Yeah, we saw that at Collingwood Art Center.
Yeah. Like there's a little child spirit inside Sally's house. His name's Paul. Paul despised me. If Paul was giving other people activity and I came into the room or even around it, all activity would stop until I left.
Wow.
We have tried that many times. Like I'd be standing downstairs in the kitchen area, the dining room area. They'd be upstairs getting activity from Paul, like REM pods going off and all kinds of other stuff going off. I'll walk up the stairs, turn that corner of the bedroom, everything goes silent. I'll stand there for like 5 or 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll turn around, walk down, get downstairs, and I'll start back up. I don't know what it's me. The kid does not like me.
That's crazy.
He's told me to shut up through REM pods. So.
Well, hell, I've told you to do that.
His work, though, I actually did shut up.
Oh, okay. There's the difference. You don't listen to me.
But
I'm sitting on Melbourne Manor's Facebook page right now, and they actually got some cool 360-degree pictures in there now. You can actually check out some of the rooms.
They're doing some great things. Ghost Files bought it, so it's under new ownership, and we're going to be doing a lot of work to it. I already told the Ghost Files that they better get me a room in there because it's my baby. So I already got a plaque in Ashmore, and I told them that they need to make me a plaque for Malvern Manor.
There you go.
Oh.
Now, Ashmore is another absolutely wonderful location. And like I said, the first time I was there was with you and Teresa and Callie, Cheryl, and Michelle Harold. And that's when I had my first experience being touched. And it's ever since I got hanging around with you people. You people. You and
we
Callie.
Have names.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
But seriously, though, it is. Since that little group's gotten together, and mainly, well, I don't know. I was always pretty active investigating anyway, but being around you, it seemed like my schedule's picked up tenfold. And I'm all over the place now, and it's your fault.
Welcome to the craziness.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just riding on his coattails. One day, I'll be someone like Rick.
You know, it has. Ever since and that's what caused the big fight in my team for Paranormal Warnings. And Sharon ended up actually quitting and just giving up on the paranormal because I kept telling her, you need to go public. You need to put your stuff out there. And you let people know what you do. And she would never do it. And then she would get mad when I'd get all this stuff, but they didn't know who she was. Except for like my YouTube people. YouTube people knew who Cher was because she was in every one of my videos. But if people just followed me on Facebook, like when I got that gig with Brad Kling for a year, she was highly upset at that I was getting all these opportunities.
That's absolute ego there.
Yeah. So
absolute ego there. I mean, that's and like I said, but you and I have been putting more out, and I've been putting more out since I've been around you.
Yeah, that's what got you in trouble is putting out.
Right?
Oh man, here we go.
Couldn't resist. But yeah, it is, and it's all, throw it out to the universe. That's the way I am. You throw it out to the universe.
Let's see how it comes back to you.
Yep.
Sound just like Callie now.
Yeah.
We've learned from someone wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's a good inspiration to have.
She's a wonderful lady.
She is.
So, but now see, after you left Melbourne Manor, you end up back here in Ohio, and I don't know how long you was in Ohio before we hooked up.
I got here the end of February.
End of February, so by what? Memorial Weekend, you're down here at Post Town.
3 months.
I don't mess around.
Now, let's talk about some of that now. Let's talk about Post Town, your experience there. It's kind of illegal for me to talk about it.
Nobody's ever died in there.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There was somebody just the other weekend was said that. Actually, they had some people come up. Daryl told us about from another location. You was there.
Yeah.
And people saying how they don't see why anything should be here. Nobody's died here. I mean, I don't expect to get anything. What do you think about the place?
That place, I tell you what, we've been in there 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah.
In this year.
I'll be there the 28th of this month. He's got an open investigation this 28th.
It's every time I've been in there, it's been something different. Like if I go in there expecting that I've experienced it all, the building's like, no, here's this. And that's how it is. You never know what you're gonna. When you leave there, you believe.
Yeah, you do, and it's an amazing location. Like you said, it's so different because it does change. It's changed since when we lived there. It really has
changed a lot since we lived there.
And that brings me to the point. Do you believe that sometimes it's not what you find there, it's what you bring with you?
I do believe in that, but here's my thoughts on Post Town. All right? A lot of kids, their happy place is school because they're having a lot of problems at home. Their family's having problems. That's their way to get away sometimes. That's what I used as my getaway as a kid. That's where all my friends were.
Right.
That's where I beat a lot of people up. I had fun with it. And it was my happy place because at home we were a poor family. We didn't have anything. And I was getting sick and tired of eating Spanish rice every freaking night. That at the school I could have a cheeseburger and fries. I could have pizza. I could have this. I could have that. So it was my happy spot. I'm a fat little kid.
Fat old man. What's your point?
When they pass, if they pass as adults, if they pass as teenagers or kids, they always say you go back to your happiest place. And if that was their happiest place in their life, I mean, imagine them growing up and being that miserable. But the fact that they're there means they loved it. And they're staying there because they love what Daryl's doing. Just like Ashmore. They're there because they love that place and they love what Robin Terry's doing to it.
Right.
Now, do you think that all the spirits are there because they were associated with the school or went to the school? Or wow. That's Rick's phone. Boom.
That's my mom.
Boy, he's getting all kinds of messages. Now, but what I was going to say is, do they have to be spirits there that were associated through the property, through the school, through the history that has something to do with that land? Or I went to a school 3 towns over. Does that mean I can't go be happy at Post Town School? I have to go be happy at my school?
No, you can be dropped off too. I mean, you got attachments there, and they're basically like little hitchhikers.
Well, see, where I'm going with this is I truly have a theory. It's not that I say it's strong when it can be proven, but I have a problem with all these attachments or the ghost is bound to a certain place or certain land thing, because if you truly believe in most of the religions, you have free spirit, you have free will. And especially in Christianity, that's what God gave us. They didn't give us angels. He gave us free will. So you're telling me that when I die, he strips me of that free will, and I no longer have the free will to visit anywhere I want to go, any place I want to go, at any time I want to go.
Well, I do believe in that. But they're also going to go back to their happiest moments in their life. I mean, do you think if that prison inmate wants to go back to the prison?
No, but I'm just saying, but with that same aspect, if I'm going to get back to my happiest place, then it means you can travel about and visit any happy place. I could. My happy childhood memories was at a school. My happy adult memories were at a cabin that my family used to have. Does it mean I have to go back to the exact cabin? Can I just go to any cabin?
It's true.
And enjoy that ambiance of that environment.
Find out. Okay, I'm going to commit suicide, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm going to kick your ass.
10 minutes, I'll be on the other side.
Come on over. I'll kick you right square in the
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But Yeah, I do. I do believe in free will.
But I just don't see how everybody can say how, and my other thing is this discussion I had with somebody the other day, and I got in quite a bit of trouble about it, because when you have people say, whether it be a psychic, medium, sensitive, religious person, whatever, that they can make a spirit cross over.
No, you can't.
I have a major issue with that. Can you lead them to the light? Can you help them find the way to another portal to go across or whatever? I do believe that. But if you truly believe that it's the soul that has to cross over to heaven, if God couldn't make it cross over, and you're just a human being, how can you make it?
Some people think they're bigger than God.
Obviously so, in my opinion. And that got me in quite a bit of trouble the other day on a nice discussion. Imagine that.
Well, see, and here's the thing, too. You have to realize that there are some spirits that are just kind of roaming around because they didn't get that chance to say their final messages. And that's all they want. I've experienced it personally.
I'm going to be roaming around just because I want to pester everybody and pick on them. And I'm going to be that one that when you're getting undressed in the bathroom, I'm going to knock on the door real quick, make you think I'm walking in on you, or throw the door up and so you jerk up your clothes, and I'm going to laugh and walk away.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's be honest about it. I'm not going to be here because I have some final message. There's too many people on this planet that I haven't got to pick on yet, and when I'm a spirit, they can't stop me.
Yeah.
I'm no longer restricted to travel either. I can travel where I want to go. I can go pick on somebody in China.
Yeah, that would be cool if you think about it. You've passed away, you're a spirit, and you can go anywhere in the world you want.
Anytime.
Money's not an option. You don't really have to worry about
food,
plane
sleep.
Fare, food.
All
sleep,
I gotta say is, if you're a spirit, avoid United Airlines. All right, so I got that.
There he goes again.
I got that.
Oh my God, you kill me. So, but now we've been to Post Town together. Oh God, one of our big trips, and for those of you that don't know, and if you don't know, you haven't listened to our show. That one weekend we hit 3 different locations, and actually 2
weekend last year.
And one of the big locations we went to was Ashmore Estates, and the other one was here in Ohio. Was the Ohio State Reformatory at Mansfield. And Rick was there, and some of the experiments and investigations that we did with you there, and that one incident in the one jail cell. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah, well, that you talking about the EVP we caught,
right?
Of what's his name screaming? Yeah,
that was cool, and that tells you how Rick's style is. He smokes, so he had a lighter with me, and the guy supposedly set himself on fire, and Rick lights his lighter up to ask a question. Also, we hear him. I was like, "Holy cow!"
What was cool about that is that we all heard it with our naked ears too.
Our naked
ears.
Mm-hmm. And the weird thing was, it sounded like it came from the other end of the building to our naked ears.
Yeah.
But when you hear it on the EVP, it sounded close.
When I heard it, because I was doing live EVP at the time, it sounded like it was right there beside us in the cell.
Yeah,
it was amazing on live EVP.
Just kind of something else that boggles my mind.
There's a lot that boggles my mind with this field, and the more I get involved, it seems like the more it gets boggled, for lack of a better terms. It really does. I mean, there's so many different directions and concepts and ideas, and you have so many people battling over them who wants to try to make sure that their idea is more right than someone else's. And I'm like, Lord, man, can't you all just kind of see the bigger picture and merge them a little bit together?
I agree.
So what is in store with Mr. Rose here in the near future?
So I'm going down to Rock Hill, South Carolina. I'm moving down there. And what I'm going to do is, like I've done in every other place, I'm going to weasel my way into Charleston, South Carolina.
Love Charleston.
That is a phenomenal location.
If I can weasel my way into some spots there, I'm doing pretty good for myself. Because I've already done it 3/4 of the United States.
You know what, Rick? If you can weasel your way down into some place down there, we know how to get there.
Been there a couple times. We actually
just throwing that out there.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So I can't remember he's heading to North Carolina, South Carolina. I just knew he was leaving me. Now, see, what's that tell you, people? He's met me, hasn't even been around me for 1 year, and he's already getting the hell out of Ohio.
I don't know. Wait a minute. What does that say for me? We've been together 31 years, and I'm still here.
What's that?
You're kind of stuck.
What's that little tune? Dum.
Right?
Play some Twilight theme music right about now.
That's going to cost me a night on the couch. You can bet on that one. So, but I know, like I said, I know once you get down there, you're going to definitely be still doing things and stuff. It's going to take you a little bit of a while to get established stuff, but not really, because I know you network like crazy, and I know with all the people you have on between your YouTube page with all of its thousands of followers, your personal Facebook page, your paranormal investigating page, you already know people down in that area. They're already probably giving you ideas and send them to you.
They already did.
See, I know you. See, you can't play me like that.
The devil's stomping ground.
So, see, we were just talking about that last night on our show, and I've done some more research into it down there in South Carolina. I want to go. Yeah. I want to go bad. If you get a chance to get a chance to go to that, you let me know, and I'll take off from work. Well, if I have any time left from being on from this long. That just kind of shot there.
There's all kinds of places down there. Plus, you get down to Myrtle Beach, and then you go down to Atlanta, Georgia, and just all the southern spots.
I got family in Atlanta.
Well, and then you get into that whole Civil War stuff, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sherman and burning all his way out to the ocean and right through Atlanta and stuff. And you got Savannah not too far away. I mean, you got tons of history there. And then all the history there with the Charleston anyway, way back, the Revolutionary War, being a seaport and stuff. Just amazing the amount of history that you have there without including Native American.
Yep.
Dang, man. Now you're making me jealous, make me want to quit my job and move down there.
Come on down. We got all kinds of stuff down there, and I'm looking forward to getting down there and getting my feet wet and that stuff. So
yeah, because like I said, I knew you already had your contacts. Don't even think that you had to go down there and reestablish yourself. Bull crap. I've known you for too long.
Yeah, well, I don't go anywhere without contacts.
Well, that's because see without them, right?
I knew that was coming.
I did too.
I got good eyes.
Yeah, he could see himself run out of any room, but he'll come back. He will come back. Now, see this last Friday night, we were lucky for all of us to be together with our good friend Jason Schneider there at Post Elementary School and doing some investigating. And Paul Bradford was there for a little while, and it was a good time. And Tracy Hensley, but we didn't have the experiences like we did the time before when you came down and we were doing the open investigation, the public investigation, when Teresa peed herself.
You know what? You don't have to keep bringing that up.
Well, Rick ran too.
I only ran because Teresa was trying to sacrifice me.
Yes, I was.
Well,
I was full on reaching for you to sacrifice you to that.
You both ran, and I got sacrificed because I fell to the floor laughing. So if it was anything bad or evil, I was dead from laughter.
You got to imagine too. The last time we were down in there, we weren't really fully focused on the investigating part. I know my mind was somewhere else.
I mean, this past Friday?
Yeah.
I have no idea where your mind went this past Friday. Do you want to know?
We were drinking.
Oh, that's right.
Well, yeah, it was not really a full-on investigation. We were just kind of hanging out with some friends and having some fun.
Just a little get-together party.
It was private. There wasn't anybody else. It was just our group.
So we were doing, actually we weren't really investigating. We were doing more energy work, just kind of feeling and getting some people more acquainted with that idea and concept stuff. And it's just, we'll see how that all works out. Yeah. We weren't doing anything public or filming or anything like that. It was just friends getting together down at a building that we loved and supporting somebody. And a building I used to live in. Yeah, Jay's old stomping grounds. God, I do miss it. In fact, Daryl was telling me tonight, he got a hold of me yesterday, in the 28th of this month, he's having an open investigation open to the public. So since my good buddy's moving out of town and I won't see him then, because ain't no way he can make it all the way back up from there for that, I'll be probably up here all by myself. You never know where I'll show up. I know. That's why I don't really hold water to it, because ain't no telling where or when or how you'll show the hell up at someplace. Yeah, I'm good at popping up. There's some. That's what I was telling the ectoplasm show yesterday. I said if there's beer there, I'm there, because they were talking about their paranormal conference and that Big Rip Brewing Company was sponsoring it. Those are some cheap plugs. I'm sorry. No, that's fine. Well, you remember that. Here we go. Some other cheap plugs. You know, we got invited to come out there. I got invited to come along with you also for Ramblings of a Maniac podcast that you and I do together. Yeah. So, which that's going on hiatus.
So,
but if you go, then I want to know, because there's some way in there that I could at least get somewhere to hook up with you along the route, and just cop a ride with you the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
So I mean, Teresa could drop south or west. Right? Do what?
Was that for the KC Paracon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's August 4th and 5th.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, Jason invited me out also, and I'm like, shoot, if we're going to go for ramblings and do a dual broadcast and do something along with them with the Ectoplasm show, I'd be more than happy to. But Teresa can drop south and pick you up around Cincinnati, Kentucky, somewhere where you're crossing through, and tow me out of her vehicle and into your vehicle, and I can tag along with your ass.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's going on.
Absolutely. It sounds like a wonderful time. Well, we're coming up about on the hour mark here, so I want to thank you for being such a wonderful guest as always and giving us more information on the Sally House and also the Melbourne Manor.
Yeah, it was fun.
I like getting the inside scoop.
There's a lot of information on it. They're still digging information up on Malvern. There's a lot of history to it, so.
Absolutely, and we had Denise Pridemore on not too long ago on our Paramania show with Parasearch UK radio show, which they re-aired over there. So this will be some more information, filling in some more gaps for everybody to learn more about the Melbourne Manor, and we do appreciate you for taking your time to join us tonight.
Hey, thank you.
Is there any other ways or places that everybody can get a hold of you before we go?
No, I just kind of launched that new Twitter, Mr. Rick Rose. I'm trying to build a following on that, and I'm doing this thing on Mr. Rick Rose for live.me. I want to say thank you to the 50 listeners that's been sitting there listening to us.
Wow, live.me. I'm going to have to go check. This ain't like Periscope, is it?
I think it is. I don't know. I just got it.
You comment everything else. I'll probably go check it out here in a little bit, too. Thank you again for joining us. I do appreciate it. And y'all look for Rick Rose. He's out there all over the place. He's all over social media, Snapchat, you name it. You can find him. He's active and he's involved, and he's always got something going on. Teresa, anything to say?
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Teresa.
It was good to talk to you again, Rick.
Always.
Stay safe.
Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week.
You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.